Okay, guys. Oh, it's all black. Oh, here I go again. I have a real problem with that. Anyone that's ever watched the show knows if I'm recording, there's a chance you may or may not be able to see. Okay. Welcome back everybody to $1,000 Car Guy. So today is day 6 of the build, but this episode is going to be a little bit different. It's because it's going to take more than one day, especially for me. So Leon from Leon's Garage Adventures been in this whole build with us. He has so many projects going on right now that we can't tie up the shop. If you want to see more about his projects, click the link above. I'll make sure to put that in there. He's got some wicked stuff going on. Anywho, we can't tie up the shop for more than a couple days, usually just about a weekend. And because of that, the point where we're at right now is I need the wiring harness. And that's where this comes in. There she is. I'm going to be pulling everything out of this 2000 whatever Yukon XL. That means I need the gas pedal, the ECU, the entire wiring harness, fuel harness, things like that. Everything. And when I do wiring, I'm extremely methodical about it. What I mean is, it's going to take me a long time. It's going to be a lot of late nights. Because of where I live, the mosquitoes and the bugs are insane. So I had to put up this carport. So I did this last night at about 12 to 1 a.m. and it's quite the process. It's been around the block for sure, but it should serve my purpose. I'm expecting to be done with this whole thing in about a week if I try really hard. So that's why from this point forward, you're going to see a very large montage. There's no way I can describe everything I'm doing and get you guys all the beautiful camera angles. So I apologize for that. But hopefully we'll just be going over the main components when I remove them. For this next montage, we're just going to be removing every single panel we can get our hands on, at least in the front of the truck. What a dump. Hey, my ride's here. Hey, there's Tic Tacs in here. I wouldn't eat those. But they're like rainbow colored. They're not Tic Tacs. They're Xanax. Shh. Behold the beast. Da 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 da. You're supposed to ease up the first. I think I hit something. Yeah, the back wheel. Go ahead, you go up. Slowly. You know the whole part about like slowly getting it out the end? I don't remember that. What's that leaking? I don't know. Round 2, I guess we're just putting the ramps out. Yeah. A few hours later, so we got the whole dash pulled out. What a process. Like way more work than assumed. And now it's time to take this main connector off here and then pass it through the firewall. And then once that's out, we should be able to unplug everything from the inside of the truck, bring it outside here, and then plug it back in. Also, if anyone wants to check out the Model A build, go over to my channel, Leon's Garage Adventures, and check it out. Yeah, it looks like you really ripped the guts out of it, Leon. Just taking out a couple extra bits of harness. Okay, I have to stop laughing after all of my stupid comments. Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way down. Easy, Thanos.
Just don't touch that one wire. It'll kill you, boy.
Only if I die.
That's what killing you means.
Alrighty, big moment. We obviously pulled the whole harness out, and you can see all the other fuses that we still have to go through to minimize it. That main harness is plugged back in, throttle position sensor, and all the gauges should kind of work, and it's just kind of a mess. So go ahead and fire it up.
I like it. It's pretty responsive too. God damn it. It wouldn't listen to me. I acted nice. I said, come on. Just come on out like you're supposed to. No. Didn't want to work. Now we got a big old mess. A big destructive. Show them what you got, Johnny.
So everything has been disconnected from the inside, and it still runs. So now we're going to flop it completely over into the engine bay side, and then the fun part begins.
We got the gas pedal still. Oh, what I would do, starting off, would be plug in your gauges, so you have that. And then that's basically all we want, right? Gauges and the pedal and everything to work?
Gauges, pedal, and ignition.
So I would start with this. Yeah. That whole section out.
Just yeet it out of there.
Yeah. I would cut them and then we can trace them back and unpin it all.
Yeah.
Because everything's plug and play right now, so.
Is this a $500 harness?
This is a freebie.
Free easy?
Free easy? Freezy free?
GZG?
Freeze.
Free easy.
Frieza. I'm just gonna play with my game. Yeah. So good, I love it.
So here's everything we've removed out of the harness. And the harness is not complete yet, but you can see that we're only down to a couple things. Still runs and drives and stops and does everything a truck would do, just with a lot less accessories. And there's a throttle. So we're going to stop here and pick it up in the morning. So here we are, the final day of wiring. And the goal of today is going to be to make sure that the OBD2 is hooked back up, and then we will consider this wiring basically done. There's a couple more pieces that I could pull out later in life, but I really don't care. The engine's got to come out sooner. Alright, so we got the OBD2 hooked up, and have we got any codes in there?
Yes. Random multiple misfire, which could have been when I had pulled the fuse for half the injectors.
Yeah.
It was Mr. Stumble McGee.
Yep.
And then we have evap leak, evap leak, evap leak, evap leak. Okay, I'm gonna delete those.
So here's everything we cut out of the harness. And you're probably wondering, well geez, did you leave anything for the rest of us? No. A little bit.
I mean, we got the gauge, we have this guy,
Ignition.
we have this guy,
OBD2 port. And
pedal.
Throttle. That's
Yep. And we got the fuse box.
the main one that's never moved from this one spot.
There we go, folks. I've got the power!
So as you can see, from the throttle, it runs right to the throttle control unit, and then back out and over to the throttle.
Yeah, it's just not a lot.
And then our gauges, still working, very dirty, but working. That, you guys have no idea how much work went into keeping them alive. A day.
Yeah, what are we, day 5 on this harness?
Of this day 6 harness? Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Something like that.
Wow.
Alright, go ahead and shut it off.
Oh, and we also got the
OBD2 port.
Yeah, it stopped working at one point, and we had to re-get it.
It took a while to get that back. All right, and then there's one other thing. Somewhere along the way, we cut off too many main connections or harnesses, and basically the computer completely locked up. The ECU just said, no, we're just gonna run for 1 second and then shut off. Run for 1 second and then shut off. Basically, the VATS, Vehicle Anti-Theft System, is looking at all sorts of stuff. Basically, as far down as door locks and everything like that. So when you start cutting all of those pieces out of the body control module, it means that it's not talking back to it correctly. And once enough nerves have been severed, it says, that's it, we're just gonna lock up. That way, yeah, so when you remove a whole bunch of things like this, it starts to lose its brain. So essentially the truck completely shut down, and we had to get Justin from Sticky's Dyno Performance over here and unlock the VATS system. So we had to spend a little bit of money there, but it's all worthwhile because we couldn't tune on the vehicle anyway without doing that. So in the future, when this thing is all turbocharged goodness, it had to happen at one point or another. So something to think about if you are trying to attempt something like this. You are going to have your ECU unlocked, at least the VATS turned off in it. Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
Yes, HP tuners.
So the software uses HP tuners. You can buy everything for yourself if you want to do it. It's probably going to cost you close to $700 to buy the whole kit. So depending on how much you want to work with, you may want someone else who's already paid for most of it to help you with this project.
I'm falling asleep over here.
All right, let's.
I'm tired.
I'm cold.
I'm not cold. I go to bed right now. Like, hey, throw all this off the table and.
So I think we're gonna go and eat some mac and cheese.
I think it's all the exhaust fumes.
Just.
I could be close to death.
So, see you guys in the next episode. What is the next episode? We're pulling the motor.
Damn, I don't want to do that.
I know you don't want to do it. You've been putting it off since I said it. But what if you can use the plasma to cut the motor mounts off instead? Transmember.
It's easier just doing just undoing them.
All right. Bye.